Hey, what's up? I'm Nick Schwartz, and you're watching Blog and Panties, the video podcast where I discuss my alcoholism, my womanizing, and my writing, usually in that order. I have a friend who suffers from leprosy, and I see his face all over town. I was driving on the interstate the other day. I saw a license plate that said, "Live free or die." How'd you like to be in a New Hampshire prison making those license plates? I'm like a kitten. I like to play with people, and sometimes I hurt them without meaning to, and sometimes I shit on the carpet. Used to be in love with the sound of my own voice. I found out she was talking to other people. Tried to get balls deep in a girl last night. Couldn't pull her vagina up past my knees. No thanks, like button on porno website. I'd prefer my friends, family, and coworkers not know what I masturbate to. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. I meant to say not know that to which I masturbate. Just read on the internet earlier that it's National Hot Dog Day, so celebrate by putting a penis-shaped anus in your mouth. Have you ever noticed black people? Yesterday I saw a single clown climb out of a gigantic car. Now my entire worldview is skewed. Little known fact, Jesus was the carpenter who said, "Get off the cross, someone else needs the wood." Amelia Earhart is hot. Seriously. Has anyone seen her lately? I've had the same bottle of vodka in my desk at work for over a week now, so I'd say I've got this drinking thing under control. There was this guy at my show, some Brooklyn hipster with a blog, who went home afterwards and wrote an article accusing me of being racist, misogynistic. He posted some examples of my jokes taken out of context. And at the end of the article, he encouraged people to follow me on Twitter and let me know that this type of humor was completely unacceptable, which they did. Hundreds of people. It got to the point where every time I went on Twitter, I was just, barraged and berated by these people, to the point where I just shut down my Twitter account. My girlfriend left me, this whole thing just snowballed. Meanwhile, I'm sitting at home watching episodes of sitcoms where the jokes are worse than anything I said on stage that night, so I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Families of people who suffer from leprosy wanted a piece of me. Families of the incarcerated wanted me thrown into prison. Other comedians said I was stealing their jokes. Feminists wanted my balls. Gay rights activists wanted a piece of my ass. Civil rights groups wanted me blacklisted. Religious organizations wanted me excommunicated. Alcoholics Anonymous knew my name. Even Amelia Earhart's family was looking for me. So after all the controversy surrounding my stand-up act surfaced, I went back to my day job writing for a weekly newspaper. One night, I was the last person in the office. I was working on a difficult piece, and I hit a wall. So I decided to take a break, cruise the internet. After a few minutes, I ended up looking at some porn. Now, maybe it was because I'd had a few drinks. Maybe it was because I was feeling low because my girlfriend had left me and, all the stuff with the stand-up set, but I ended up masturbating at my desk. I know it was wrong, but I figured who's gonna know? Next morning, I come into work, my boss calls me into her office. She's got the head of human resources in there, and this woman who worked as a administrative assistant, I think, maybe, I don't even know what she was doing in there. But I had to sit with these three people and watch security camera footage of myself masturbating before they told me that I was being fired for masturbating at work. The first girl I ever kissed was Doreen Eaton. She had this huge Jewfro. I'm sorry, no, that's racist. It was an afro. She was Jewish, but it was an afro.
Come in.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, hey, man, my brother Matt said you were in town.
Yeah, man, I'm helping him out with that web series.
Yeah, man, I heard you lost your job.
How?
Well, your mom said something about it.
You talked to my mom?
Well, no, she posted something about it on Facebook.
You're friends with my mom on Facebook?
You know what? You should get a hold of Mike Mello.
Mike Mello, that meathead jock that we went to high school with? Why?
Yeah. Well, he's got more money than he knows what to do with.
How?
Well, he wrote some book, Vampire High School or some shit.
That dude wrote a book? I didn't even know he could read.
Yeah. I think you know his wife, Lynn Small, maybe?
Lynn Small, the girl that I dated all through high school.
Yeah, that's the one. Hey, what else you got going on? I've got a great idea for a blogcast.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just going to review things.
Like what?
Well, for instance, some brothers, I'm not being racist, I mean my brother, would have you think that Stacey Perry's Shake It Off is the best video around. But I think that Eddie Murphy's Party All Night Long is.
Right? A party all the time? Is that Eddie Murphy party all the
Eddie
time?
is really into the video, and it's got Rich James in it. And Rich James is really into it.
He's like in the control booth, right?
He's in the out of control booth. He comes out of the booth. He comes out of the booth, Nick, and he drops the sickest bass lines ever. In 1999, Eminem's released a song called I Just Don't Give a Fuck. Later on, he released another song called I Still Don't Give a Fucks. Do you realize how few fucks you have to give if you write 2 songs about not giving a fuck, Susie? There's Nightmares on Elm Street 3. It's the Dreams Warriors. It's got Snaggletooth in it, and Dawkins does the soundtrack, Susie.
In 2002, I was single for the first time in like 4 years. So I started going out to bars, trying to meet girls. One night, I meet this girl, and she looks really familiar to me, but I can't figure out where I might know her from. We talk about it a little bit. She can't figure out where she might know me from. The night progresses. We're getting along well. We have some drinks. We end up going back to her place. A few drinks after that, we're having sex. In the middle of this, I look down and it hits me. I know where I know this girl from. She looks almost identical to my younger brother. I freaked out. I rolled off, I pretended I was too drunk to finish. I went to the bathroom, I cleaned up, I got dressed, I got out of there. Never talked to this girl again. The funny thing is, I look back on it now, I probably should have realized much sooner. The mustache should have been a dead giveaway.
there was a little dish on the counter that said, "Give a fuck and take a fuck," and M&M was a cash register, the dish would be empty. I don't even know why McDoubles has a menu anymore. They could just, everybody just orders off the double menu anyway. They could have the same things, only smaller. They could have the 1/8 of a pounder, or they could have a Little Mac. Just one all beef patty, and half the special sauce, and the cheese, and half the pickles and onions on 2/3 of a sesame seed bun.